There are new efforts to shut down social media addiction by youth. Attorney General William Tong will announce new bipartisan legislation today. And your reporter Olivia Schuler is live at the state capitol this morning with why lawmakers don't want to see kids being glued to their screens.
Yeah, Tracy, many of us know these devices well, including the apps that come on it. And that's why bipartisan lawmakers want to put a stop to what they're calling the youth's addiction to social media. Take a listen to this concerning statistic that comes from the American Psychological Association. Teens are spending nearly 5 hours a day on social media. Bipartisan lawmakers want to put an end to the endless doom scrolling. Some of what's being proposed includes restricting of minors' ability to access any portion of a social media platform that shows certain media, parental consent, and requiring platforms to disclose certain information on an annual basis. Now, at 9:30 this morning at the Legislative Office Building, Attorney General William Tong and bipartisan lawmakers will announce a new legislative proposal to combat youth social media addiction. Attorney General Tong will then testify before the General Law Committee in support of the legislation. On Eyewitness News at noon, we'll have an update of everything that comes out of today's meeting, so make sure you stay with Channel 3 for updates. Your reporter in Hartford, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Olivia.